Coming up this week, off-screen.
Horror becomes hereditary.
It takes only 8 ladies to do the work of 11 men.
You funded it, and Meow the Super Troopers are back.
We have a sexy party at Studio 54.
We wheel out the piano.
And visit the A Ciambra.
All of us coming more off-screen.
This is Off-Screen. Off-Screen. With the latest film news and reviews, this is Off-Screen, the on-screen radio show.
Welcome back to Off-Screen. I'm Van Connor.
I am Kase Allen.
So, Mr. Allen, there's news, there's reviews, there's a box office top 5 to get through, there's all of our usual filmic meandering.
Yeah, there's an Oceans film.
There's an Oceans film.
Another one, Oceans 4.
I wonder how many people
Times 2?
actually think Oceans 8 is a prequel. Yeah, I have seen 1 or 2 people on Twitter.
I wonder if we're going to make this one a trilogy, because then we could have 9 and 10 without leading into 11, 12, 13.
I think that might have been calculated.
I think so.
I think so. Okay, so before we get to all of the usual fun then, so we need a piece of film news to start off the week.
Something to take your breath away.
Something to get my beak wet a little. What you got for me?
I don't know. Iceman. Let's have a look. We'll see what news we can get. Oh, I know. Val Kilmer's going to be in Top Gun 2.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, why? I mean, obviously, I get why.
Because
I get
Kiss
why.
Kiss Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah,
that's great.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And,
but the Snowman wasn't.
No, but Val Kilmer's the most sensitive of all the Batmans.
What was his name? What was his name in Kiss Kiss Bang Bang? Because he's gay something.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Gay
What is his
Perry?
name?
Gay Perry? Is it Gay Perry?
Yeah, it is.
The detective.
Yes.
He's the detective, Gay Perry.
Gay Perry.
I love that movie so much. I need to see that again.
See it every single Christmas.
Oh, I love that film.
Yeah, but famously was in Top Gun 1. Had quite the homoerotic volleyball scene.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's going to be again.
Excellent. So, this is Top Gun : Maverick, I believe.
Yeah, it's going to be called Top Gun
Maverick.
Maverick.
Well, he's in his late 50s now, Tom Cruise, so he's been a bit of a maverick with his colon at the stage
Yes,
if he's not getting regularly checked.
Yeah, we have an exclusive about the story. It's just Maverick going for a colonoscopy.
It's not about drones. It's not about drones.
No, it is. But the drones are carrying out the colonoscopy. Tiny little anal drones.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So Iceman is going to be back.
That's a sentence I never thought I would say again.
I know, I had the same thought.
Tiny anal drones.
So, oh dear God. The places your mind goes, Alan.
Yeah.
So we might get a reprisal of the volleyball scene then, just with 2 50-year-old men this time.
But I hope we do it with like VR headsets.
But if you're Val Kilmer, though, why? Why would you return, knowing full well you're basically the same age as Tom Cruise? Tom Cruise looks like Tom Cruise. You look like Val Kilmer now. Yeah,
you look like an old bag of flour.
You look like Tom Waits would envy, would feel bad for you, and it's,
you look like Aaron Sorkin's chin is falling off.
Okay, that's cruel enough. That is cruel enough.
And I don't want to be cruel because I love Val Kilmer's.
If you've seen The Snowman, he basically plays Tom Waits in that movie. It's bizarre.
Yeah, you could just get Tom Waits. I saw Tom Waits in a trailer for something.
I have a soft spot on Tom Waits in the trailer.
Yes. There's a Robert Redford film called
The Old Man and the Gun.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that not his final acting role with Casey Affleck?
Supposedly so, yeah.
Not his final one with Casey Affleck.
But
his
just
final
one,
comma, with Casey Affleck.
Yeah. We're all about the punctuation and grammar today. Colons, commas.
Exactly.
We got colons coming out of
colons.
our colons.
It's nice when we take a week off because we just come back turbocharged, don't we?
Yeah.
That sharp wit is ever pointier. So before we get to our first review of the week then, which incidentally is going to be Super Troopers 2, I'm going to save you the suspense.
Speaking of sharp wit.
We've got to plug the podcast edition to get the extended version of this. This week we're going to talk about the reissue of The Piano in the podcast extras. We got more film news. We got A Moment of Cage.
Is that the film with Harvey Keitel's junk?
It is the movie
one of the other films with
one of the many films with Harvey Keitel liked to get his junk out.
He's proud of that junk.
I mean, there's a really interesting car advert just waiting to happen. Car insurance advert, sorry. Just waiting to happen. Just like...
Yeah. I want to know what Quentin Tarantino thinks, because he must have signed off on it.
I don't know. I have no idea. Do you want to go to Quentin Tarantino and say, hey, we want to make some direct line ads?
Yeah.
And we
I
really
want to hear
like
him say the
Harvey.
words, Direct Line.
Because it is the character. He's not playing Harvey Keitel. He's playing Winston Wolfe by name.
Yes.
So they have to have given something to Tarantino.
Yeah, must have done.
But yeah, well, there you go. What could you really do with the image of Quentin Tarantino dealing with Direct Line?
I don't know, man.
I
want like Jules and Vincent to show up in like a KFC advert or something. I want Zed in a B&Q advert.
I just want a KFC advert now where it's like, and I want gravy with that. What? Say what again? Just say what again?
Burger King, obviously.
Oh, God, yeah. That is a tasty... Yes, that would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Anyway, so podcast edition, more fun. This week, we're going to review the piano there, complete with Harvey Keitel's junk. And then we've got more film news that won't involve Harvey Keitel's junk. And then we've got
That's what you think.
a moment of Cage, in which we will finally answer the question... Where is Nicolas Cage's Oscar? If you want to know that, you have to download the podcast edition. It's on iTunes, it's on Deezer, it's on TuneIn, it's on any podcast platform. Do you know what? We've not got the time in the day to reel off every podcast.
Just look in a drawer. You probably find a podcast. We're everywhere.
We're going to podcast repository in your kitchen drawer, in the junk drawer. Because we're all about junk this week.
We're all about, this episode, sponsored by Junk.
By the way, we actually are open for sponsorship, so never mind.
So junk.com, give us a call.
Junk.com. Right, so Super Troopers 2.
Yeah, so speaking of junk.com.
Right, so you haven't seen Super Troopers, I'm guessing? Have you not? Okay, so Super Troopers was a 2001 comedy, a low-budget comedy. Its biggest star was probably Brian Cox, the Hannibal Lecter one, not the Things Can Only Get Better one. Not him. So the general gist was they were highway patrolmen, basically. They were a squad of highway patrolmen in I think, Vermont, upstate Vermont. And I think the station was threatened with being closed by the town mayor or something, and they had to, do a big drugs bust and save the precinct or whatever it was. Right. It was a forgettable comedy that really resonated as a cult thing among stoners, for lack of a better term. And it was written and directed by Broken Lizard, who were a comedy troupe who went on to do Club Dread.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
And then they did Beer Fest, Slammin' Sam and the Babymakers, and they've been kind of dormant since. But Jay Shanmuskar, who's generally the director of the group, he went off and did Dukes of Hazzard a couple of years after Super Troopers as well.
Right.
Now, many, many, many years later, because they can't quite pull a Clerks 2 and get studio funding for, a micro-budget sequel, what they've gone and done is crowdfunded it. They crowdfunded this sequel, and it went down really well because it turned out they had that many fans who are clearly former frat boys. And I'm not judging, by the way. I'm one of these people, so I didn't personally contribute to the Kickstarter, crowdfunding platform. Cake Funder. Do you want to be my cake funder? Fund my cakes,
anytime.
Case.
Yeah.
Fund me up a carrot cake. Fund me up a red velvet muffin right now.
I'll take the Costco right now, son.
It's important to have priorities, isn't it? Yeah. So the idea is now, it's many years later, the team have all disbanded, they've been shut down in the years since, they've all gone their separate ways, and they are reunited when it's discovered that their old patch, as it were, has, in the process of being rezoned, been reclassified as part of Canada. So, it's now sort of disputed territory. It's Canadian territory that's going to become American. They go there. They go there as to train them up in American law enforcement, as it were. They immediately clash with the local Mountie police. They fall under the auspices of the local head honcho businessman played by Rob Lowe, because it's a movie in the 21st century. And who's standing up Canada? And
right. Along the way, get Rob Lowe for this?
I presume money. You crowdfunded him, man. We all did. And basically, they decide at one point to up the ante, as they do in these things. It's same exact movie. They've just changed the goalpost a little bit. This one's more about weed, for instance, where the other one was, I think the other one was heroin. I'm not entirely sure. And yeah, so we have a sequence here in which two of the officers, Steve LeMay's character and Jay Shanmuskar's character, I think father and I forget his name now. They all blur together. They have decided to dress up as Mounties and impersonate their Canadian rivals, and they have stopped someone for speeding. This is a riff on a gag from the first movie in which they did exactly the same thing in their regular uniforms and just said meow a lot. Here's a clip. God help us.
Vous conduisez trop vite.
Do neither of you speak English?
I do. Your papers. We would like to
eat your papers.
Can you show me your party papers?
You want
They
to
want
see our party papers?
party papers.
Oui, bon vivant, bouillabaisse, coule de sac, laissez faire chicken cordon bleu.
Formidable, bâton rouge, noblesse oblige, au bon pain, château maman.
Croque mes yeux?
Croque madame.
Non, stupide.
Frère Jacques Grey pour Paul Marquis de Sainte-Terette, whoop.
Feather-duster, croissant, les misérables, Catcher, Luke Robitaille, D'Artagnan, Perrier, Friend, Tarkenton, Peanut Buster, Parfait.
Eau de toilette.
Oh, de doudade!
You didn't laugh, did you? Yeah.
French Canadian.
Yeah, it's really reaching for the highbrows of the comedic spectrum, this one. I'm a fan of Super Troopers, and I struggled with it.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Super Troopers. I will make all the apologies for it. It is, it's an enjoyable stoner comedy, as most of the Broken Lizard movies tend to be. Club Dread, I think,
I seem to remember Club Dread.
Club Dread's a lot more rooted in satire than they usually are, to be honest. That's a lot more unappreciated parody, sort of satirical bent to it. This is, for lack of a better term, lazy. Given the chance to effectively do a Clerks 2 and, make a modestly budgeted sequel to an indie breakout hit and do something genuinely profound with it.
Yeah. Clerks 2 really works.
Really does, especially in contrast to its, its predecessor.
Donkey Show Withstanding. It works.
Show Withstanding. Yeah. Oh, the late, great Roger Ebert, because he walked out at that moment.
Yes, he did,
yeah. This just takes the easy way out. I mean, it is pretty much a template rehash of the first movie. And you sit and think, yeah, but the first movie was one of those that you watched on DVD multiple times, whilst inebriated with your friends. So we don't need to see that again.
No.
Goon 2 did something different to Goon. Clerks 2 did something different to Clerks. This does nothing different. And the humour is a lot flatter than it was before. It's lost a lot of its edge, largely because the genre's moved on a lot since Broken Lizard brought Super Troopers out nearly 20 years ago. It's 16, 17 years ago. It's not that it's particularly terrible. I mean, I laughed at times, and it's nice to see Broken Lizard back together. And yet again, you have Jay Chandrasekhar directing, and the script is credited to Broken Lizard. So, which is the whole group.
So we've done it as a squad.
They do it as a squad, yeah. They seem to rotate quite often. This is definitely not one of their better films. I mean, I still think the high watermark of everything they've ever done is the Slammin' Salmon. And
I'm not even aware of that.
Oh my God, podcast extras of I Got a Film to Tell You About.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, here's a film I'd never heard of, and I'm sure I should have heard of it. Mediterranean.
Oh.
No,
Okay.
I'm not familiar with that either.
What, with his Top Gun?
Is that some kind of Iron Eagle spin-off or something? No?
No.
No, fair enough.
Could be.
Lou Gosson Jr. needs the work, I tell you. Anyway, so there was a film a few years ago, Mediterranean, by Jonas Carpignano, and Italian filmmaker, and, he's got another film. Oh. And I haven't seen Mediterranean. This apparently serves as a sort of a follow-up to it. Now, I haven't seen Mediterranean, and I very much liked the film, so I'd imagine it's not really essential viewing. Maybe I would have thought it was mind-blowing if I'd seen Mediterranean, but I have not. So, A Ciambra, which is being released as The Ciambra in the UK.
What does that translate to?
Do you know, I don't know. I thought it was the name of the place, but the place is apparently Calabria.
How are we spelling it?
Ciambra. So Ciambra. I have tried. It doesn't seem to come up. Anyway, the word I believe might be Romani. Is it Slovakian? Is it Slovakian they speak?
It is, yes.
I think it is. It might be a Slovakian word. It is about a 14-year-old Romani boy who lives on the outskirts of the city, lives amidst poverty, he lives amongst racial tension, an undercurrent of criminality is just a way of life. And he has an older brother who is effectively the breadwinner for the family. He is locked up in a sort of, basically as a bystander of, something he's happening present for. Nothing to do with him. He's taken away. It is left to the 14-year-old brother Pio, who's actually played by Pio Amata, who was in Mediterranean. It's fallen to 14-year-old Pio, who drinks, he smokes, he wears a trendy Adidas jacket, etc.
He's a cool guy.
He's a cool guy. It's fallen to him to be the breadwinner for the family, and what you basically get is something like this boy's life. And I say that, bearing in mind that yesterday afternoon after I saw this, I came away and thought, oh wow, that film's just like if you took the child seduced into the life of crime bit from the beginning of Goodfellas, right? And you made that into a movie all of its own. And you thought, yeah, that's this boy's life. That's literally that movie.
That is the film.
Yeah. So that's kind of what A Ciambra's like, kind of without the dad element, as it were. Although he has paternal figures, and it is about the way in which he is manipulated by certain factions and the way he feels more at home with others, and even though they are, quote-unquote, not his kind, etc. Young love blossoming against the criminality going on, things like that. It is a coming-of-age story in the truest old-fashionist sense possible. I almost said old-fascist then, didn't I?
I thought that's what you did say.
old-fashionedist sense imaginable. Great direction, really atmospheric, and you really got a sense of this world and what it's like to not so much live in it but move through it. And because the living in it is we're presented with quite a harsh sort of day-to-day life, but there are scenes in it that really do inject heart and do inject warmth. And there's a sequence that has to be improvised. Has to, because Campion written and directed this. But there's, for instance, early on a dinner scene in which a whole family's gathered together in a very small kitchen, and they're just having this discussion as they're eating. And in that typical family way, this conversation just turns into a shouting match of, not an argument, but just people shouting to be heard over one another. And it's just a really great moment that just crystallizes exactly what makes the film so great. That sort of level of humanity that's in it, that improvise, you can't script it kind of thing. There's just a sense of the human to it. But the central performance by Pio Amato, I think, is absolutely terrific. A really, really great turn by this young,
How old did you say he was?
He's playing 14. He looks younger than that. Wow. But he just looks like a proper tween. I'm just going by the Disney Channel.
Tween.
Proper tween. Disney Channel version of a tween. But
that's a bad name.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really solid, grounded, gritty drama. I thought it had everything going for it. I knew nothing going into it. Came away big fan. And cool. If I ever get the chance to see Mediterranean now, I will. If you've seen Mediterranean, presumably it's at least as good as this, and you'd know what you're in for. But so I'm going to pass it over to you then for a piece of film news very quickly. It's been a fun week.
Thank you very much.
Fun for the whole family.
It really has, yeah. So what has happened? I hear you all ask.
Well, apparently Warner Brothers has imploded. Harvey Keitel's going to jail. There's been a couple of things.
Did you say Harvey Keitel's going to jail?
Did you not hear this? No. Sorry, not jail. Sorry, no. Harvey Keitel is being charged. He is. Did you know none of this?
We were just talking about his junk earlier.
No. Weinstein, not Keitel. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Wrong Harvey.
I was about to say. Jeez.
Don't take Winston Wolfe from us. We've just got him for Direct Line.
Although if we're talking,
I'm just getting a new car quote.
If we're talking about new people getting caught in Me Too, by the way, though, we should mention since we've been on last, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Don't feel good about talking about it, but we gotta.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Should we just say?
I mean, we are now at a point where we are charging God.
We are literally now at a point. Yeah.
It's
true, isn't it? I mean, what I want to know is if you charge Morgan Freeman, right? What happens 5 or 6 years from now when we have the documentary about the Me Too scandal? Who narrates it?
Who's going to narrate it?
Yeah, who narrates it? Because it had to be Morgan Freeman, and now it can't be.
I tell you, a penguin. We'll flip it on his head.
Flip it on his head.
Get Danny DeVito. He was the penguin.
You've really taken this to a dark extreme.
Have this for a segue. So it looks like Batfleck is gone.
Is he?
Apparently.
Okay. There's a lot going on at Warner Brothers, though.
Let's quickly
dive in.
Okay. And then we can talk about it a little bit more in podcast section because there's so much to talk about.
All right, I'm going to give you 30 seconds. I'm going to need time for the next one, but go on.
Okay. Yes, apparently, according to the trades, Matt Reeves' script for Batman focuses on a younger Batman.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So those Jake Gyllenhaal rumours could be true.
But I don't think it will be Jake Gyllenhaal.
Probably not.
I feel like, yes, he was probably courted, but the fact they're looking at someone younger... I mean, Batfleck's not going to... He's too old. He's got too many back tattoos. Of dragons or whatever they are. Dragons. A two-headed dragon.
Are we talking Affleck?
With... Yeah, with...
Might be some Boston Street Gang tattooed on his...
Have you seen his weird like midlife crisis tattoo that he got recently?
Because I'm Batman? I don't know. No, I haven't.
Oh, you need to look at this.
Oh, no, I did. I thought that was made up.
It's like a phoenix or something.
Is it? I thought that was made up.
I think it's real.
I saw a picture. I thought it had been photoshopped or something. I was, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But,
it's got two heads. One's got Jennifer Lopez, the other one's got Jennifer Garner.
Dear God. Is that real?
Well, that's a lie, but you want it to be.
You want it to be. You want it to be.
Oh, you want it to be. Oh.
The Dragon of Gens.
Oh, that's a name from it.
What? No one thinks it's odd that Ben Affleck almost exclusively goes after women named Jenny.
Interesting.
I mean, just saying.
Yeah, and if they're not, he gets them to change their names.
Well, I'm just saying, if I were Jenny
that is a rumor.
if I were Jenny Agutter, I'd be loading, I'd be arming myself and preparing.
Yeah,
so.
Jennifer Aniston,
Jennifer Jason Leigh.
Yeah.
It's like Jennifer Lawrence. We'll move on.
All the gens, all Team J.
All the gens.
Anyway, there's not any gens in Ocean's 8, is there?
Are there not?
I don't think
That
so.
is funny. Hang on. Let's see. I can't think of what I've heard.
I'll tell you what, there's an amazing segue.
Go on.
Ocean's 8.
So Ocean's 8 is here, and you might have heard of it because it's been on a bus or two. This is, as you may very keenly be aware, it's a spin-off of the Oceans trilogy, spin-off of Oceans 11, 12, 13, this time focusing on an exclusively female roster of criminals, led by Debbie Ocean, played by Sandra Bullock, who is the the younger sister of Danny Ocean, played by George Clooney famously, but he's not in the film. Don't go into this thinking this is going to have all the Oceans lot turn up, okay? There's
that'll happen in a future one, I'm sure.
No, there's nods and winks. There's a couple little nods and winks to Oceans. This is in the world of Oceans. They're very clear about that.
Yeah.
Very specific that this is taking place in that universe. No Andy Garcia, though. I'm sorry to burst your bubble there.
After watching Book Club, I'm ready to just
give your life to Andy
marry
Garcia
him right now. Yeah.
Right, so the idea is Debbie Ocean unites a team of misfit criminals that includes Awkwafina, Sarah Paulson, Kate Blanchett, Rihanna, Mindy Kaling.
Rihanna is how you actually pronounce it. Rihanna, I believe, is how kids pronounce her name.
Sorry, my apologies to Rihanna. In a romp written, directed by Gary Ross, I believe Steven Soderbergh is connected to it in development in some way. Has he had a hand in the script?
He's an EP, I think.
He's an EP. Well, the screenplay is credited to his wife as a co-writer. I refuse to believe that he's not had an input in it.
Right, this is like the Logan Lucky thing, isn't it?
This is
where we had a scene
so we don't want to get into it. The idea of this heist is to steal a $150 million necklace from the neck of Anne Hathaway, a gullible actress at the Met Gala. We have a clip. The clip is, I'll just warn you, because there are not many clips available for this. This is basically just Debbie Ocean's parole hearing.
Good afternoon, Miss Ocean. As you know, parole is a privilege.
It's a mistake, but it happened. And if I were to be released, I would I would just want the simple life. I just want to hold down a job, make some friends, pay my bills.
Here's the thing, Ocean's 11. Do you remember back when Ocean's 11 opened?
I do. I remember going to see it at, I can't remember if it was Virgin Cinemas or UGC at the time in Sheffield.
Yep, I think it was UGC.
Had a grand old time. Had a big bag of Galaxy Minstrels.
It was fun, wasn't it? It was fun. It was slick.
Yeah, I watched it last week as well in preparation for this.
It holds up as well. It's a film that does surprisingly. I mean, Don Cheadle's accent notwithstanding, does hold up.
He's in a lot of Barney, isn't he?
Yeah, total Barney. Yeah, it's only nosed it up. Only nosed it right up.
Barney Rubble. Trouble.
Right. So the sequels were terrible. The sequels, 12 and 13 are...
I've actually not seen 13.
Right, 12 is abysmal. 13 is better than 12, but not by much. And I think there's a fake nose on Matt Damon's sequence that just beggars belief. This is a lot more to the quality standard of the first movie, but it does have that same feeling that the Ocean sequel had of simply being unrelated movies that have then been just had a line changed here or there to tie them back into the Ocean universe.
Some connective tissue.
Kind of like the way that we have Die Hard sequels. They're just generic action movies and then they just write John McClane into them. Yeah. Well, the Ocean sequels were made like this. This feels the same. This does feel like there was a girl heist movie, and then someone thought, yeah, but wouldn't it be funny if it was Ocean's Ladies?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay. I mean, the hardware side of the original movies, we have to break into this building to jack into this cable to override this curious and do all that. Interestingly enough, all of that seems to have been ditched because it's now 2018.
Yeah.
So you've basically got Rihanna and her laptop exclusively handling the tech side. So a lot more of it is devoted to that Thomas Crown style, sleight of hand, duck behind the column at the right minute when the security camera turns kind of thing.
Have we still got, like, each person has got their own skill set kind of thing?
Every single... Yeah. So, for instance...
That's definitely my favourite aspect of
there's literally... there's one of the trailers that just gives is their identity, is their jobs as the trailer. So just to pick one or two, for example, Sarah Paulson, for instance, who's like a suburban mom now, and they sort of draw her out of retirement. And by the way, that 50s housewife chic thing, yeah, Sarah Paulson, she's got that down.
Working.
Really, she's working it. She's working it. I mean, that's my American Horror Story. Anyway, so she's like the fence. And then you've got Mindy Kaling, she's like a fence and a forger. Mindy Kaling, I think, is a forger as well. Awkwafina is the street hustler, the shell game.
Yeah.
So you can guess where her skills come into play, for example. There is fun to be had. It's a bit hollow. It's a bit style over substance, but the original Ocean's 11 remake... remake, imagine that. Yeah. The Ocean's 11 remake was like that anyway. It's about as fun as that was. I would say, as far as a gender-flipped remake goes, this is a lot more successful than, for instance, Ghostbusters.
It's getting compared to that a lot, obviously.
For an obvious reason. But I would say it's very strange that the film itself doesn't really harp on about the fact that they are all women.
No.
I mean, it comes up once or twice, but, then you spend a couple of minutes hating James Corden, and then you spend a couple of minutes thinking, Richard Armitage is a bit cool, isn't he?
Oh, so he is in it?
Richard Armitage is in it.
Because he is, like, absent from all the trailers.
Don't want to go into any plot details to do with it. But because it's Notions moving, so much of it is built on that twist thing. And
Is Damian Lewis in it? Because was he going to be in it at one point?
He was going to be the Richard Armitage role.
Oh, right, and then Richard Armitage
and then stepped out.
Yeah.
But because I don't know if you've seen the tweet this week that came out. There was a tweet from some female US critic who saw the film and bemoaned this no-name white guy as this character. Like, that would have been so much more impressive.
For an Oakenshield.
I know. And she complained, wouldn't it have been so much better if it had been someone known like a Chris? And Richard Armitage brilliantly replied with... actually, there was someone more famous than me who was set to take it, and then there were scheduling conflicts. But hey, I'm cheap. So, you know what? That level of humour, that's pretty much...
Well done, Vic Ridibley's husband. Well done.
Exactly. Well done. Completely forgotten the name of Spook's character. Lucas North, I think it was. But that level of humour, I would say, is in keeping with the film itself.
Yeah.
See it, you'll have a good time. It's one of those, it's a slick heist thriller, a slick comedy heist thriller. And also, you will come away from it thinking, I just want to dedicate my life to worshipping Cate Blanchett now. And
Carte Blanche.
Her collection of just insanely awesome outfits. I want to see a movie in which Diane Keaton and Cate Blanchett are mother and daughter, and it's a competition about who's better dressed. That's what we need.
We need Carol 2 is what we need.
That's what we need. We need Carol 2. This time it's Mom.
With the latest film news and reviews. This is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back, Mr. Allen. So, box office top 5?
Why the hell not?
Number 5.
The Fantastic Infinity Guardians and the Dawn of Futures League.
That was a good one, actually.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So, Infinity War, what's left to be said? What really can you possibly say about this now? We're 6 weeks away from this being released on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, we are, and it's still out of cinema.
Yeah.
I was thinking about seeing it tonight, actually, because I still need to see it for a third time.
Well, it crossed 2 billion, didn't it, this week?
Yay!
It's done it now, so yay!
So that's four films, isn't it? Is it 4 films?
4 films have now made 2 billion, so what are they?
This, Star Wars, and 2 Jim Camerons. Walk into a bar. Titanic, Avatar.
Am I right in thinking Titanic didn't make 2 billion until they reissued it in 3D like 3 years ago?
Oh, possibly, yeah.
Like, it was something like 100 million short, and then they reissued it in 3D and the film actually crossed 2 billion.
Yeah, and obviously it's been adjusted for inflation and whatnot. And,
it's only just in case, that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I really want the Avatar sequels to just flop.
Just to teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
Get back to making films, Jim.
Yeah.
Come on.
Go in your submarine and go away.
Could have made a perfectly good Aquaman movie, Jim. Come on.
He could have done.
He really could have. He could have. He's already technically done it once. Yeah. Anyway, so I love Infinity War. You love Infinity War. Someone apparently, according to Twitter, loved Infinity War 42 times. This
42?
That got tweeted out by, I think it was Marvel, actually, that tweeted that out.
What, someone's like 42 times?
Someone had actually seen it 42 times and had like provided the ticket stubs to prove it. You know,
so say they spent $10
a time, yeah,
$10, yeah.
That's 420 for the Marvel Bank Hall, and
and thank you,
and do your change. And thank you. So, do we have a tweet?
Do you know what? Can we have one episode where we don't have a Simpsons quote?
We'll have to try. We'll have to try.
What is this?
You've never heard this. This is what happens when you read a tweet out in the edit.
La. Big fan of this.
So, go on. What's the tweet?
Right. At Voodoo Blue.
Voodoo Blue.
Like
okay.
that. Big
Voodoo
fan
Blue,
of that. Or Voodoo Flu, if you will. There's only one thing that would make Infinity War better. Hawkeye. / Ronan.
Number 4.
Book club.
Which we saw together. We had a grand old time.
It's great. I think when I menstruate now, but it's good.
It was interesting. We were two of the youngest people in that screening.
Yeah. Well, 3.
With 3 of the youngest people,
wife, yeah.
and there was my sort of aunt, who I think was one of the youngest people in the screening, despite being in her late 50s. Yeah. And it was a great time. We had so much fun watching that, laughing.
It was awesome
because I think we were watching it with its core audience.
If it was just like us, just for 3 of us, we would have enjoyed it much less. But seeing it with but
it did still have a great sense. I think we still would have laughed a few times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think that laughter was infectious to
seeing
it.
Seeing it with like 80 people of an age.
Of age 80.
Yeah,
yeah. That was fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I thought it was slightly more risque than I expected, actually, at times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was all the happier to be so. So, do we have a tweet?
Yes, we do. Oh, I love this music, man.
You really never heard this on any of the edits back?
I don't like listening to my voice.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so unless you can provide me with like an edit that's just you, I'm probably never going to listen.
Well, we can now. We have a track split. But go on.
At Entertain Ecam says, Book Club is a hilarious and matter-of-fact film. Is it? About living your twilight years with passion and... Is it verve? Vivre?
Vivre.
See, I know the world.
As in joie de.
Joie de vivre. Yeah, I've just never seen it written down.
No.
Anchored by an amazing quartet of legendary actresses, Candice Bergen's monologue about love made me tear up. At Book Club, #Book Club, #Book Club film.
I have the feeling she really wanted that to be seen.
I think so.
Number 3. Deadpool.
It's fine.
It is, isn't it? Do you know what it is? It's not that it's just fine. You actually think the film is pretty good. I think the film is pretty good. Do you know what it actually is? We're bored of Deadpool.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's it. And that's not a reflection of the character. I think we have this a lot with superhero movies, where I think Wonder Woman was a very good example, where after about a month of it, you were just kind of tired.
Yeah.
And I went around a friend's house, for instance, when Wonder Woman was out, and he wanted to show me some Wonder Woman thing. I went, can we not?
I'm probably done.
Yeah, I said to him, no, can we not? Because I've reviewed Wonder Woman, I think it was 4 times in its opening week.
Right.
I've done 4 reviews. I'm kind of bored of the sight of her. I mean, I love, Gal Gadot and all, and I could,
Gal Gadot.
I could enjoy the sight of Gal Gadot forever, but I'm just sick of the image of Wonder Woman. Can I wait till the next film now? And Deadpool's kind of reached that stage for me. It's fine. It's fun. It's good. It's a perfectly fine sequel. I would just argue that it's perhaps not as evolutionary a sequel as it should be, or at least it's evolutionary in the wrong direction. It's slightly too much plot and character for a film that really, actually, would be better off going further away from that.
Yeah. Still, Peter's good.
Peter's great. I love Peter.
We love Peter.
So over to you, sir.
At Morrissey Mojo says, I finally got to see #Deadpool 2 and I feel brand new. Wow. What? Okay. And I feel brand new.
I feel brand new.
Wow. Thank you at Van City Reynolds. So that's Ryan Reynolds'
yes, it is.
Twitter hashtag.
In case we forget where he comes from anytime soon.
Yes, Quebec.
Is he from Vancouver, or is he just because he was Vancouver?
No, I think so. Yeah,
okay,
the baby leg scene had me laughing so hard, my wife was embarrassed.
Fair.
Number 2.
So I have a thing about this film now that it's been a few weeks I've seen it.
Okay.
The focus really should have just been about the Kessel Run. The Castle Run should have been something different, and we should have just called it Castle Run.
Right, I enjoyed it. I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I agree with you for a specific reason. Despite enjoying it, perfectly fine.
Yeah, perfectly fine. Perfectly Ron Howard.
Despite that, it's the very, very first time ever that I have seen a Star Wars movie. Once, when it was being press shown or opened or whatever, walked away from it, and a week later, honestly couldn't tell you what happened in the plot specifics. Can't remember. Can't remember. What were they heisting? What were they traveling?
Yeah,
Can't remember.
there's some oil MacGuffin or some
Something
fuel
like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Carlaxium.
Something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Carlaxium?
And then they do
Tony Braxton.
Tony Braxton.
He's got to get 50,000.
Unbreak My Heart.
Tony Braxton. Yes, that's
it.
That's the song that plays in the Falcon once we put the droid's brain in there.
Say You Love Me Again. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah. Credits. Ron Howard.
Tell you, that man's got a beautiful mind. Anyway. You love me a little now, don't you?
Oh,
anyway,
I really do.
Perfectly fine, perfectly fun in the moment.
That joke landed with a splash.
Thank you. What a rush.
I can't do anymore.
I'm just really trying to think of an Apollo 13 one there. It was not happening.
How can I get Willow into this? I need to.
Oh, you're in full-blown Arrested Development.
Yeah,
anyway, and we're done. Okay, so fine, fun, enjoyed it. I think it's the worst of this current crop of Star Wars movies, but I do think they're all good.
Yeah. Some of them are going to be better, some of them are going to be worse.
Yeah.
This is the 10th one now, so...
Exactly. I mean, and also, enough of this we want the Star Wars we want nonsense. Nobody actually wanted a Han Solo movie. I'm sorry, it was never going to be a thing.
I mean, when Han Solo didn't want a Han Solo film, that's when we were like, yeah.
The actual Han Solo guy didn't want to be Han Solo half the time. So, has anyone tweeted hate or love?
So Harrison Ford says, at Bitchy in the Berg.
Well, that's good, I like
Right,
that.
okay, I don't know what it means,
That
but
sounds like the name of a
like it.
journal, Bitchy in the Berg.
Bitchy in the Berg.
Newspaper column.
Yeah, like a
Pittsburgh newspaper column.
like a Carrie from Sex and the City.
Yeah,
kind of.
Bitchy in the Berg, yeah.
Like that. Just saw a hashtag solo movie, and it was really good. At Alden Ehrenreich, I didn't even know that he had a Twitter.
Okay.
Good for him. Really getting his name out there that no one can pronounce.
Well, he can't get 2/3 of his tweets because no one can spell his.
No one can spell his
Well,
name.
it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Did an amazing job. I love the hashtag Chewbacca, hashtag Han Solo backstory. That is a friendship like no other. However, Harrison Ford LA, I didn't realise that he was on Twitter.
Okay,
I need to get
apparently,
back on Twitter. Will forever be my Han. Hashtag Star Wars, hashtag friendship goals.
That sounds very lonely.
Doesn't it?
Number 1.
Life finds a way.
Jeff finds 3 minutes.
Jeff and the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum finds 3 minutes in which to be in a film.
Yeah, you've seen the film presumably now.
Yes, I saw it day of release because I literally.
Oh, you saw it a couple hours before me actually.
I had nothing to do. It wasn't even that I was excited. I was just like,
Can we just agree that like Jeff Goldblum's utterly wasted in the film?
yeah,
It's a cameo at best. That's not even a cameo.
He's got to be in for whatever the next one is.
It must
Because
be.
otherwise, what is the point?
Yeah.
But like, he's been out on press for it as well.
I know. Here's the thing. I would compare Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to Solo in that I would say I enjoyed it perfectly fine in the moment. A week later, I have to genuinely strive to remember what the actual individual bits of the plot were.
Yeah.
And didn't gain anything particularly from having seen it. And I'm sorry, but it does, and this is a franchise complaint, this film does highlight the gaping flaw in the whole series to date, which is very simply, it seems to be built atop this idea of, let's set up an idea for a future one and then do nothing with it. And this movie, for instance, without giving you the spoiler, there is a post-credits sequence.
Oh, was there?
Yes, there was. Right. That is literally kind of like a single shot. Now, that single shot, which contains no dialogue, sets up an entire potential other film down the line. Now, you've seen...
You can tell me afterwards, because I didn't
you've seen the actual film, so you know from the ending of it roughly what that plot's going to be anyway.
Yes.
The thing is, the way it's set up in that post-credits, you know will never happen. Just as you know that the end of Jurassic Park 3, when the pteranodons were flying towards the mainland, never happened, because we never got a Jurassic World that opened with the mainland being under siege from flying murderers. They don't follow plot elements up. Whatever happened to that shaving can? It's a series that sets up plot elements and then never does anything with them.
I will tell you why we never saw that shaving can. Nobody cared.
it was a better excuse for a sequel than we lost our parasailing divorcee child. Okay.
Johnson, we got Johnson over here.
Look, I'm sorry, if you're going to subject me to a sequel in which all I'm trying to do is find the divorced Spielberg kid, then...
Oh my God, yeah.
We're talking Raptors...
Bill Macy needs work, man.
Only thing I remember from that movie. Anyway.
Only thing I remember from that movie, Alan.
Yeah.
Alan. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think you can really see why Universal wanted J.A. Bayona to do the first one to kick it off. Because, honestly, I think direction's great in this.
That's
and
it.
I think it
he's
looks
the best
amazing.
thing about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
By far a mile.
There's some amazing shots in it. There's there's some great action in it. The story is absolute bonkers. It's just...
it goes everywhere, doesn't it?
Naff, yeah.
Here's what I would say in comparison. I would actually describe it as a slightly more gothy Lost World.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'll say. So,
it's Lost World, but listen to The Cure.
That's exactly what it is. So has anyone tweeted?
Yeah, at Robert Smith from The Cure. So.
At Bobby Smith Cure.
Oh, come on. This is a great Twitter handle.
Go on.
At Megs and Bacon.
Yes! Love it. Is it a woman named Meg?
Yes, it is.
Excellent.
Yes, it is. I cried so much in hashtag Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Too long as well. Too long of a title.
Oh, yeah.
You should have just called it Jurassic Kingdom.
Yeah, actually.
I was saying that for like a year.
Or Jurafivic.
Missed opportunity. It was everything I imagined and so much more. Well, obviously, I've got the imagination of like an old quiche. And I mean,
basically, But no, unfortunately. So, on to our next review then. We got to talk really quickly about Studio 54.
Mike Myers.
Well, that's the thing, because I saw it, I was thinking, really? I feel like we only had a movie about 54 not so long back. And then I looked into it and found out it was 20 years ago.
It was 1998.
It was 20 years ago. It was the only time Mike Myers ever tried dramatic acting, apparently, although Bohemian Rhapsody's later this year, so...
Inglourious Basterds.
Oh, yeah. Would you say that's dramatic acting? Because I'd argue that he was playing that satirically.
Yeah. I forgot that he's involved in Bohemian Rhapsody until right now. He's in as well.
He's the manager, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Have you seen the trailer for, is it called The Terminal or just Terminal or...
Terminal with Margot Robbie. Is he in that as well? He is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of like heavy makeup and prosthetics, but yeah.
So, basic standard remit, it is the story of Studio 54. Yeah. It is the nightclub that lasted 33 months.
Cocaine for everyone.
We forget that as well. We forget that nightclub lasted for 33 months.
Wow.
And that was actually deemed something of a record.
That was great if it lasted for 54 months.
It would have been, wouldn't it? But it had its own brand that went with it. It was kind of like the Playboy Bunny logo had the 54 logo. It became a club for complete excess. The general public could go to it if they were deemed sexy enough to be let in. But it was a place for celebrities, for the socially active dance scene contingent of gay culture and the trans community and vaudeville performers, and it's the rise and fall of Studio 54. We have a clip that's going to set up the somewhat disco tone very nicely.
We both came from Brooklyn.
They had this understanding that they were getting out and they were going to do something big together.
We wanted the ultimate nightclub.
Beautiful models, celebrities with gay men, transgenders, and it all started blending.
A world of fantasy that absolutely exploded.
Sex was in the air.
There were mattresses in the basement.
The amount of drugs was profound.
Everyone felt like they had to be there.
The people started to get angrier because they couldn't get in.
You can't have this much popularity without somebody wanting to take it down.
And then obviously that comes.
Right, the tagline for film needs to be Sex in the Air, Mattresses in the Basement.
That needs to be the tagline. I'm not sure what the tagline actually is. I mean, first of all, I loved this. I had a lot of fun with it. I will admit, it's a little bit of a shallow documentary once you start thinking about, for instance, very obvious lies that are told and things like that. I mean, there is a criminal allegation that is denied in the most ludicrous sort of display that you just start thinking, it's been like 30 years.
Did you see that ludicrous display last night?
Exactly. But there's loads of moments like that. And obviously, Steve Rebell is no longer around with us. He's who Mike Myers played in Studio 54. And you do discover exactly how much of a great impersonation Mike Myers did, by the way. Right. Like, it was actually a really good performance. The film is just, it's this great sort of throwback, retro, fun, kind of an A&E biography kind of a piece. I had a lot of fun with it. I found myself dancing in my seat. I was interested in the story because it's always fascinated me anyway. I would say it's certainly going to shed a lot more light on things than, for instance, the narrative film from 1998 did. I rewatched the film last night, by the way. It's rubbish. It is a dumpster fire. And, with Ryan Felipe playing a 19-year-old, busboy, because that's totally believable. Anyway, that's the thing, though. I went in. It's like 90 minutes. I had a grand old time with it. I danced, sang, I whooped, cheered. I met some characters, through this story that I didn't know existed. And, there's lots of celebrity talking heads, archival pieces, things like that. It is a lot of fun. It is worth checking out. Never, ever watch 54. The narrative film, but definitely check out Studio 54, the documentary. Okay, take those words with you as sacrosanct.
With the latest film news and reviews, this is Offscreen, the on-screen radio show.
And we're back for our one last ride.
Yeah.
So, Mr.
I'm here with Vin Diesel.
one news piece for me.
Well, we would briefly talk about Bohemian Rhapsody.
We were.
And he said Mike Myers.
Mike Myers, yeah.
Obviously, there were some issues of the director.
Well, yeah. I mean, attendance is an issue.
Yeah, that was something, yeah. He had personal issues. There was something going on with family. He was not granted a leave of absence. And what's the studio for it?
Fox.
Is it Fox?
It's Fox.
Right, yeah. Okay. He left the project. But apparently he is going to be the credited director.
He is, because Dexter Fletcher took over for the last 16 days of filming, I think it was.
Yeah. But Dexter Fletcher was going to do it before Bryan Singer.
I remember,
which is
he going to do it with Ben Whishaw, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I think at one point.
And in a way, I kind of wish that that's the version that we had.
I feel like I would have accepted a fluffy film from Dexter Fletcher, whereas with Bryan Singer, I feel more disappointed.
I don't think it would have been fluffy, though, with Dexter Fletcher, no.
I mean, we've only got mere months to find out.
Is it November?
It's November, I believe.
But, Dexter Fletcher has said now that he didn't even want the credit. He just wanted it to be made.
He
just wanted it to be finished.
I caught that as well. He came across as really enthusiastic, didn't he?
Yeah. I really like him.
Who supervised the post-production then? Because did Dexter Fletcher handle the edit and everything? So
I'm assuming so. Yeah,
that's so weird.
Because it was like hot. No, Bryan Singer didn't return, and I don't think he'll be doing any press or anything for it. And even when it's out for like awards run, I don't think he'll be much attached to it.
Seriously, have you ever known a filmmaker outside of Roman Polanski put out as many films as Bryan Singer that he can't promote?
That's a good point.
Yeah. That's getting to be a thing, isn't it?
Do you remember that year when we all thought that Jack the Giant Slayer was going to win Best Picture? Oh,
yeah.
What fools.
Oh, we were naive. So, let's talk about something a little chilling, shall we? Let's talk about Hereditary, which you might have heard of. Gotten a little bit of advertising. A lot of buzz.
Yeah. A lot of buzz.
Right. Let me just explain, because I came to this through the buzz. I think I'd seen the trailer once in passing, probably with you, I think.
I seem to remember showing you it. Wow.
I had a lot of critic friends who'd seen it at different screenings. They've been screening it quite a bit. And a lot of critics, friends of mine, who prefer, let's just say, artsier films. I'm not going to say that they involve making love to peaches, but one of them in that case is definitely true.
Yeah, Call Me By Your Peach.
The film, not the actual critic. That would be weird. But they have expressed great love for this film. My immediate thought was, oh, good Lord, this is going to be a pompous waste of time, isn't it? So I went into this 2 hour and 7 minutes art house horror film.
I didn't know it was that long.
From A24.
They do good horror.
Which kind of tells you immediately, if you know the other films A24 have released, what to expect.
Especially someone like you who is not a fan of, say, The Vitch. Or...
No, I was a fan of I'm a big fan of A24.
Oh, really? I thought you did.
No, I'm a big fan of The Vitch. So what you've got here, when I can't go into spoilers, this is the thing, it's all about spoilers. It's not an especially complicated film, but it is playful and subversive with what it does and doesn't show you, so much so that even though its plot, when it is laid bare, is fairly straightforward, and you can kind of guess where it's going. You've seen this kind of plot before. It makes you work to figure out what that plot is for a good long while. It's really good about it. So, Toni Collette is the matriarch of a family. The dad is Gabriel Byrne. The son is Alex Wolff. By the way, we wrongly credited him as Nat Wolff. Nat Wolff. Back when it was My Friend Dharma, it is Alex Wolff. It's the younger one. And
they look the same.
They do look exactly the same. And the younger sister. And the idea is that the grandmother has been bedbound, terminally ill for a long period of time, has recently passed away prior to the film opening. We are told in passing bits of dialogue here and there, about what kind of a, psychologically dysfunctional woman she was, how manipulative she was, how devious she was, how she liked to get her hooks into people and effectively, bend them to her will. All these sorts of things. And in the wake of her passing, this family starts to fracture. That's all I'm going to say. You need a clip because it's radio. Here's a clip of Toni Collette describing her mum.
And then she lived in our house at the end before hospice. We weren't even talking before that. I mean, we were, and then we weren't. And then we were. She's completely manipulative. Until my husband finally enforced a no-contact rule, which lasted until I got pregnant with my daughter. I didn't let her anywhere near me when I had my son, which is why I gave her my daughter, who she immediately stabbed her hooks into. And I felt guilty again. When she got sick, not that she was really even my mom at the end, and not that she would ever feel guilty about anything. And I just don't want to put any more stress on my family.
So I'm going to be very succinct about this because, as you've pointed out, you want to see this. You don't want any of the spoilers. Believe me, you don't. If you can get away with not seeing the trailer, you absolutely have to. Just because of that playful, subversive kind of thing it does with conventions and tropes of horror films. And there are little homages. There are visual homages to other horror films that, again, are playful and almost lull you into into weirdly false senses of security. It's a brilliantly constructed film. To look at it, it looks like boilerplate A24. That sort of...
We know what we're going to get.
Yeah, you know that bluey white tone that's always there, and there's a visual gimmick involving doll houses that's quite intriguing.
Because that's her job, isn't it?
She makes miniatures of scenes from her life, and just you're going to see some things. That's all I'm going to say. Just the film in general, you're going to see some things that, on at least 4 occasions, I turned into Marlon Wayans' character from Scary Movie.
Right.
Like, oh, son, no! Like, no way, you can't. You're actually going to do this. Okay, fair enough. Let's see where this goes.
Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Let's have a good time.
It's, oh, bleep, son. Very many of those moments. And, yeah. And you come away from thinking, okay, that was really artfully made. That was really brilliantly constructed. Maybe a bit overlong. At 2 hours 7, you do sit there and think there's about 25 minutes of, I would argue, padding.
You could get
there's a lot of air in the cake. You could have let that one out and just gotten this down to 1 hour 45, and it would have been something brilliant. I think, to be honest, I would pitch it as that sort of halfway point between a lot of the A24 films. It has that sort of that eerie music synthesized feeling of It Follows. It has that weirdly claustrophobic feeling of It Comes at Night. It has that complete otherworldliness and the all-encompassing dread of The Witch, which we're just going to call forever.
Yeah, of course we are.
The performances are terrific across the board. Toni Collette, this is Oscar-caliber stuff. Yeah. This is the kind of thing where you think if the Academy wasn't so snobbish about horror, this would get an Oscar.
Well, maybe they're not now after, Get Out and...
This is, you would love to see it with something like this. If she got a nomination for something like this, it's a performance that so deserves it. Gabriel Byrne takes something of a wet blanket kind of a husband character, does something intriguing with it. Alex Wolff, wow, okay, I don't even know what Nat's doing now, but he can retire. We've
got me everyone. Yeah.
We don't need a Luke. We got a Chris. We're good. Okay, we found our Alec, people. We found our Alec. See it, definitely see it. This is out a day early as well. This is on Thursday, 14th. So
yeah, I'll be seeing it tomorrow.
You got to text me the minute you've seen it. I got to hear everything. Definitely check that out. That is Hereditary. That is out Thursday. It is our film of the week. I'm just gonna throw that one out there.
Not Super Troopers.
Not Super Troopers 2.
Not Super Troopers.
Not Super Troopers. No. I mean, Meow of all times. I'm really sad to say it's not.
I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Stop doing it. No. I feel bad about doing it in the intro.
You literally had a gun to your head. I mean, it was a cigarette lighter shaped as a gun, but it still works. Okay, so interesting stuff next week to come. I'm gonna be straight up front and just say that I haven't looked up half of the films that are out next week, so I don't know what Arcadia is. For instance,
it's a jet ski film.
Is it?
It's a jet ski film. It's a family of semi-professional jet ski riders.
Yeah.
There's a big race, I've heard.
Oh.
Yeah, that they call the Arcadia.
Oh, okay. Does it star Gerard Butler?
He was considered for it. He was far too costly.
Then they got William H. Macy.
Yeah, because when you can't get a J Butler, you get the Mace.
That's how it works. You don't know what Boom for Real is either, do you?
Boom for Real?
Boom for Real.
Part Transformers, part Boombox.
Oh, man. I swear, I was hoping you were going to say Out Here Brothers biopic. In the Fade is next week.
Have you seen the Barbershop films?
Yeah.
Barbershop 4.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Are you joking with me?
What?
Are you joking?
No, I've been serious about all these films.
Okay, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Freak Show.
It's where Ice Cube finally perfects the fade.
Oh, good God. Okay, I almost believed you till then.
Freak Show. It is a biopic about Kellyanne Conway.
And we know what Overboard is, let's be honest. Gender-flipped remake of Overboard is next week.
It is Kurt Russell and drag.
Do you know it's like 2 hours 20? It's about
Shut up.
It's meant to be a mental length.
No, it's not.
All right, I'm going to look it up in the podcast extras. In the meanwhile, that's all to come next week. This has been a Caddy Stuff production for On Screen. I've been Van Connor.
I've been Tony Collette.
And we'll be back.
Just show me the way to get out of here, and I'll be on my way.
You've been listening to Off Screen. For more news and reviews, visit onscreenfilm.com.
Okay, cut.
Oh, hi, Van.
Oh, fancy meeting you here. It's an hour 52 now, Overboard. Like the early pre-release, it was listing on like IMDb as like 2 hours 20. You know, any old chump can write on IMDb.
Yeah.
So yeah, that looks terrible, doesn't it, Overboard?
Yeah. Speaking of films, for the first time
for a change
ever, because we never talk about.
We never do that.
Yeah, famously a gardening podcast. What do you say?
White supremacy world was cancelled, so they moved us up in the schedule.
For the first time, I don't think I told you this.
Okay.
I watched Bloodsport.
Oh, Van Damme.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before.
Okay, I haven't seen this as a kid, so you know.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of Van Damme films, and I've always been aware of it. But I just never sat down and was like, I'm just going to watch Bloodsport.
I love an old film like that.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
Don't you find?
It's amazing.
As an adult, you love those like films from the 80s and 90s that you just missed when you were younger.
So much.
Sticking them on. I do it all the time. I did, think, not that I'd missed, that I haven't seen in decades. So I watched Bodyguard like a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
One I've got sat on my iPad waiting for me to watch on a train journey, presumably one night. Set It Off.
What was Set It Off?
Set It Off was the girl criminal movie that starred Vivica not actually a Fox and Jada actually a Pinkett. Of the Pittsburgh Pinketts.
I remember.
It's the one that had that song.
Of the Philadelphia Pinketts.
Yeah. Well, again, Set It Off was the one where the song was more famous than the film.
Yes.
You know the one?
Yeah.
Your wife always plays it on Vivo in my house. Whenever she comes around my house, she puts it on Vivo. I've never asked her why. But
do you know what? Like one of these kind of 90s films we should watch next time we get together?
Go on.
Money Train.
See, this is the thing. There's a problem there.
Why?
Right. The problem is, first of all, even before I got Now TV, I watched Money Train fairly often. It was It was like a once a year kind of watch. Now I have Now TV. It is on Sky Cinema all the bloody time.
A lot, yeah.
It is. It's like Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Money Train, Doctor Strange. Is that what it is about Sky? And does Murdoch just like those movies?
Possibly, yeah.
It's like, wizards and train robberies. I am in.
I think they're telling us that Woody Harrelson's going to be in Doctor Strange 2. Just like some like redneck wizard.
I mean, always remember, we still yet to have Woody Harrelson in an MCU movie.
Well, not that it's part of MCU, or we'll find out.
Doesn't count.
I know what you're going to say. I want to shut you down, mouth.
Doesn't count.
Yeah, apparently he's going to be Carnage.
Apparently he's Carnage in Venom, isn't he?
Yeah, which I can see, but yeah.
So we were talking about the Jurassic Park title, by the way. We were saying it's too long. Well, my dad was in the country this last week, so I was visiting my parents' house because I see my dad about once a year, and
Nice tight family, aren't you?
We're tight. No, he just works overseas. Anyway, we were just flicking through the movie clips channel on YouTube, and my dad saw the Jurassic World trailer. Oh, is there a new Jurassic Park? I'm like, yes, yeah, there is. And my mum walked in as the trailers and she goes, oh, bloody hell, not another one. She's like, how many is this? 6, 7? I'm like, no, it's 5th.
It was only 5th.
She's, I swear there was like 9 of these. It's only then I realised I might have driven my parents insane with
all the films.
all the Spielberging at some point in my life.
But I never want to get to that point where like I don't know what number a franchise is in.
Really? Because I couldn't tell you how many Step Up films there are. Couldn't tell you. Are there 5?
Oh, well,
Are there 5? I'm not sure.
I'm pretty sure there's 5.
You think this is Step Up 2.
I know there's one where Peter Gallagher is like the villain, and he's that in like Florida, as in Miami?
That is, I believe,
number 4.
I think that's Step Up All In,
which is the 4th,
or is that Step Up Revolution? No. I think Revolution is 4. All In is 5.
Which one did Channing Tatum say? I'm done. After 1.
After 1, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't he cameo in the second movie or something? I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
Look, the first movie's worth it to ogle, either Chan Tay-Tay or Miss Tay-Tay.
Or both. Well, the former.
Just ogle on both.
Former Miss Tay-Tay.
Former Miss Tay-Tay, sorry. Yeah. Lucy Lane, as I know her. But, because Supergirl.
Yes.
But, so... I don't know, I'm not a fan of the Step Up movies. Although for a long time during uni, we did have a Step Up to the Streets poster in our house. But
really?
I lived with 5 girls.
Posters I have. I had, like, Carl Surprise, I had a Fear and Loathing poster.
Really?
Because I was that guy.
The
one guy that always has Fear and Loathing.
Oh, you're not the guy with the Scarface poster?
No.
There's always that guy.
No.
I knew that guy. I'm friends with that guy who had the Scarface poster.
Yeah.
I had the poster for Kiss Me Deadly on my wall.
Interesting choice.
I won it in a showroom film quiz. I had a poster for Kiss Me Deadly. I think I got loads of autograph framed pictures and things. And I had a big framed maxi poster of Roxanne McKee from Hollyoaks in a swimsuit. And it just said on the poster, Hollyoaks. And a friend of mine from out of the country was visiting. And she saw this poster and said, who is Hollyoaks? And yep, that face right there. That's exactly it.
Great.
Well, because if you don't know, and it just says Hollyoaks on the poster, you would think that was her name.
But that is the kind of joke that I make all the time, and it sends my wife insane. So like when it's something that is not a name but looks like a name,
yes.
I'm always like, oh, I used to know a girl called Hollyoaks. She's got a school here. I do it all the time, and it drives her up the wall. She hates it.
Oh, there you go. You can share that one forever.
I will. Yeah.
To a Maltese girl, apparently Hollyoaks is a perfectly valid name for a poster poster girl.
Yeah, the Connecticut Oaks.
Of the Connecticut Oaks, yeah. But I think in the case of Roxanne McKee, isn't it the North London Oaks? I'm not sure, but I'm a connoisseur of Roxanne McKee anyway, except for that annoying time when I was forced by relationship means to turn down interviewing her. But anyway, so I need to tell you about the Salami and Salmon, but I'm not going to. We need to talk about the piano first.
They're practically the same film.
They're practically, yeah. I mean, Michael Clark Duncan is terrific in both.
Yeah, both won Oscars. Both got Anna Paquin.
Do you know, you
both got Harvey Keitel's junk.
Before we actually review it, it's funny that it's Anna Paquin, because we know the little girl's Anna Paquin because her whole career started out there. Yeah. And it's amazing when you look at her in the film now, you can't visibly tell that's Anna Paquin because she's so young that she's in a way she doesn't look like she does when she's a grown up yet. She's not formed the facial features that she's going to carry through to adulthood. She's that young.
How old was she? Because she won an Oscar for this, didn't she?
I'm not sure offhand. But okay, so let's talk about it. So it's the Jane Campion movie, adapted from the novel of the same name. It is the story of a mute single mother who is sold into marriage, effectively, with Sam Neill's character, who is lives on the shores of New Zealand. And one of his comrades, one of his fellow sailors, Harvey Keitel, has accustomed to the Maori way of life, basically starts to form a bond with Holly Hunter's character, basically through the form of a sort of discarded piano that she's tried to bring with her from Scotland to a marital bed in a marital home. Marital bed? That'd be interesting. Very interesting. A bed that's got a piano in it. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I have been looking at those beds that have USB ports and mini fridges lately.
Of course you have.
What? They're not that ludicrously overpriced.
How much are they?
About £1,200. But I spend that on cell phones. Anyway.
I need a bed for 2 things. I need it for sleeping. I need it for making a little fort.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wait, I mean, didn't you use it to make a little owl? That too.
Well, all right, three things.
Three things.
Four things, sometimes having a little personal buffet myself. Just some snacks.
Really?
Sandwiches.
I like to turn it into a sort of igloo, like a little igloo structure,
nice,
and then I just like selfie video myself
Get
making my like expedition logs.
Yeah. Do you have a sign outside that says no homers?
No, I have a sign that says there's no hope, and then when I'm on the selfie thing, I like to pretend that I've run out of food and resources and I'm going to die in the ice. Basically, I'm Shackleton. Anyway, did Shackleton die in the ice? I can never remember.
I think so.
Did he?
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
I don't know. Let's watch that Kenneth Branagh film. Find out.
You see, that ruins it for me as well, that it's Kenneth Branagh, because I always think of Kenneth Branagh in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein when he's in the ice with... Is that Shackleton? I don't know.
I like it when he's rolling around in the green goo. Robert De Niro.
I like it when he's flouncing in his open dressing gown.
Yeah. He likes to flounce.
Do you know what? I tried doing that at home. It doesn't look the same with a towel and dressing gown.
What's flounce?
To flounce in leather pants and a dressing gown.
Well, that's 4 years of flouncing finishing school, didn't he?
I'm just saying.
Learn how to properly flounce.
You know, a 12 quid Asda bathrobe does not have the same dramatic effect.
No, it does
That's
not.
all I'm saying. But I'm kidding.
When does the flouncing happen in the piano?
When does the flouncing happen? As soon as Harvey Keitel tries to bond with Holly Hunter over the piano, he basically bribes her so that she can play one key of this piano for every time she spends with him. And of course, as the more keys she wants to play goes, the more time she spends with him, and the closer the bond between them grows. The piano obviously was deserted on the beach in the first place. The husband has then sold the remains to Harvey Keitel, and this is how this has come about. In the meanwhile, the young daughter is bonding with her father. Her new sort of stepfather. Is there a chance this could all go pear-shaped? Well, we've not got a clip because I really couldn't pick a clip for the piano. It's a good movie. And I just couldn't think of a single scene that... Because so much of it is non-verbal. Because obviously Holly Hunter's character is mute. Harvey Keitel speaks in short, punctuated sentences and penises. And...
Short... punctuated penises.
He speaks in short, punctuated penises, and then there's a piano. It's a great movie. Having seen it again, I hadn't seen it since I was about 13, 14 when I first saw it. My mum was a big fan of it.
I haven't seen it for a long time.
But I remember seeing it like 13, 14, and being like, oh, you can see dongs in movies. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Get me Don Cheadle.
That's how Don Cheadle entered the business, and then realised that in order to be taken seriously, he had to.
He entered it, and then he left, and then he entered it, and then left, and entered it.
It's an equity thing because there already was a Don Cheadle. And so he had to settle on Don, and it's just Michael J. Fox all over again, man. Anyway,
drop a G.
Exactly. So we can drop a J, drop a G. It's a great movie. It's been cleaned up rather nicely. It still plays as superbly as a drama now as it did 30 years ago. And it's not aged. I think because it was already a period piece anyway.
Is it really 30 years old?
It's 93.
Wow.
So not 30 years old. It's 25 years old. But it still plays exactly as well because it was a period piece, because it was shot so well, because it's so, well built, so well constructed. The actual quality of it hasn't aged. The cleanup's gone really well. It looks like a brand spanking new film. And also it kind of helps that Holly Hunter is stuck in a time bubble.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. She really is. Yeah. I've not seen her in anything since the Kumail Nanjiani movie.
Oh,
Big Sick.
Yeah. I think that was the last. Well, that was the last big thing I saw.
Yeah.
She's Elastigirl as well.
Yeah, she is. But I haven't seen her. I've seen her in that one. She looks exactly the same age now.
Yeah.
But speaking more, it's a great movie. It's a classic. If you've never seen it, do check it out, and do check it out on the big screen because it's surprisingly cinematic, like big screen style cinematic. A film. Those great big landscapes in the ocean really does work on the big screens. I'd only ever seen it at home, and so I was kind of intrigued to see it on the big screen. But yeah, worth checking out. Yeah. Absolutely worth checking out. So, what's left to look at? Oh, I want to tell you about Slam and Salmon.
Go on, do it.
Right. What's the greatest setting for a comedy?
Mount Everest.
Of course it is. And that's why Balthazar Kormakor's 2015 movie Everest was as hilarious as it was.
It took you like a month to learn that name, and now you'll just try to drop it in any old conversation, won't you?
Actually, I learnt it about a year earlier for the movie Contraband.
I forgot that was him as well.
Yeah, because wasn't he the actor in the original language version of that movie?
Yeah, and he was like, I know this already, I'm going to direct it.
Yeah. And then screw it, I'll take on a Universal mountain climbing movie with Josh Brolin, and then make sure no one can tell it's Josh Brolin because it's just snow and it's shadows.
It's a film. Get me Josh Brolin.
Slam and Salmon is a Broken Lizard movie. It takes place in a fancy Miami restaurant, owned by a boxer, played by Michael Clark Duncan, a retired heavyweight boxer who goes by the fighter name The Slammin' Salmon.
Excellent.
Yeah. He decides over the course of one night, because he's got VIPs coming in, he's going to issue a challenge that whoever gets the most tips, gets a reward. Whoever gets the least gets fired. So it's basically the the Glengarry Glen Ross equation.
Yeah.
Oh, his catchphrase, by the way, and this is seriously Michael Clark Duncan's catchphrase. His catchphrase is "Whatever, motherfucker." And basically, it's kind of a Clerks waiting style comedy in this restaurant in one night. That's it. That's the premise. And all the Broken Lizard gang are there, and Kobe Smulders.
That's all you needed to say.
Yeah, it's Kobe Smulders in a little pencil skirt and one of the waitress blouses. But, cool. And also April Bowlby from 2.5 Men, whom I'm always happy to see in a little pencil skirt and waitress blouse. And she's very funny in it. The film is hilarious. I think it's great. I think it's great fun.
Let's check it out.
Absolutely should check it out.
Slamming Salmon.
It's slamming apostrophe salmon. And it's I watched it with John Colson for his first time, and we watched it coincidentally the night before Michael Clark Duncan died.
No way.
And then,
so it's your fault.
Yeah, well, the part that really got me is I think I texted him and said, "You'll never guess what, Michael Clark Duncan's just died," and he actually responded with, "Whatever, motherfucker." So yeah, sadness all round.
This is a terrible poster photo.
Which one is it? Is it the blue one that's them all around the table? Yeah. Oh, it's an awful poster.
Awful.
But, the movie's pretty ludicrous, but you will get some good laughs out of it.
Yeah,
but,
I will check it out at some point.
We'll check it out. I'm not sure what it's on in the UK. I think I might have watched it on US Netflix years ago. But anyway, it's my favourite Broken Lizard movie that isn't Club Dread. Because I love Club Dread. I mean, I even know the song. I love Club Dread. But Coconut Pete, that was the name of the character. I was talking to Kermit about it yesterday, and I couldn't remember the name of the damn character. Paxton's character.
Oh my god! Yeah, I forgot he was even in that.
We were in the waiting room at Mr. Young's. You know the lounge area we hang out in, and we were all talking about Super Troopers, and none of them could remember the original one or any Broken Lizard movies until I reeled off the list.
Yeah.
And got Kermodian seal of approval on Club Dread. Yeah, that was terrible. But yeah, it was, but still kind of funny.
But I loved it.
Yeah, still kind of funny. But have you ever tried telling serious grown-up critics? Yeah, I love that movie because, to be honest, every time I've seen it, I was high. But I was really drunk that night, or I smoked way too much that evening, and I was seeing Purple Elephants, so Super Troopers was hilarious. Yeah, one of those. Yeah, but it's Slam and Salmon, absolutely worth checking out. It's got a sequence in which one character goes off meds and hallucinates, but keeps serving in the restaurant, and an entire table of patrons becomes cats.
Oh, of course.
And he simply carries a large fish to the table and says, "How is everybody feline this evening?" It's
I mean, you make me want to see it less.
Well, it's got cats. You like cats.
I like cats.
You like cats.
I don't know where my cat.
And it stars sent Healed on Unearthly. So,
all right.
I mean, we all like Heroes.
Yeah.
I can't remember
some of Heroes.
What the hell his name was in Heroes now.
No.
The main guy.
Nick Cage.
No, the main guy. The Asian dude whose dad discovered mutants. I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Everyone used to call him, what's his name, from Heroes. It's all anyone used to call the actor.
And then it became his legal name.
So much so that he became Jeff, what's his name from Heroes. As one does. So, anyway.
I don't think he was a Jeff.
No, he was a Sendil, wasn't he? Yeah. So, we watched the first teaser for The Nun earlier. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, there's been some good trailers.
I'm just batting through the film news real quick.
Do it.
The Elton John biopic, Rocket Man, starring Taron Egerton.
Yes.
Unlike Bohemian Rhapsody, is apparently going to be very R-rated.
That obsessed with Bohemian Rhapsody is not. Like, if there's a musical biopic, it needs to be, it should be that. It should be that and The Dirt, and I think The Dirt is going to be.
A friend of mine asked me about The Dirt the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've never read it. So.
Yes, it's worth reading, definitely.
Jackie Chan and John Cena are teaming up.
Yes, please.
For Project X, not a remake of the 2012-2013 party movie. Yeah, there is that.
Is that some kind of thriller?
It is going to be an action thriller. Oh, God, what is the plot of Project X now? He is a Chinese security expert, and there's hostages, and he teams up with a former Marine who's John Cena. Yeah. So John Cena is the Marine, again,
he's got form.
Chinese secret agent. So
again,
yeah, exactly as one does.
Yeah.
Let's see. The CEO of Fox has said he wants more than just superheroes under the label. I mean, I'm just saying your label might do well with some Mickey Mouse under there, but
yeah,
you don't even have to wait around for that one. Francis Lawrence has got an interesting film coming up. Right, Francis Lawrence, who directed
Water for Elephants.
Yes,
yep.
Of course. We should never forget he directed Water for Elephants. Did he direct the first Hunger Games? Was it?
No, that was Gary Ross.
That was Gary Ross. Francis Lawrence directed. What the hell did Francis Lawrence direct?
He directed all the other Hunger Games. Directed
right.
I Am Legend.
Oh yeah.
I think there's something else I'm missing.
Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow is him.
Yeah,
Red Sparrow is him. His latest one.
His next film, in keeping with the heavyweight tone of the Hunger Games, of Water for Elephants.
Yeah.
He's going to direct.
You forgot that film existed.
I really did. Was it Reese Witherspoon?
Reese with her spoon.
Reese with her spoon.
And Rob Pattinson, Christoph Waltz.
Yeah, I remember because they really expected it to make money and it made nothing.
No,
yeah.
They did not.
Well, anyway, Francis Lawrence's next film is going to be about Hulk Hogan's case against Gorka.
Get in. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
yes.
I'll tell you something. That's a Sorkin thriller right there.
Can he play himself?
Do you know if you get him to do it? I tell you. I would love that. Get Aaron Sorkin to write it.
Mr. Nye.
Ooh, yes, that would work.
Get Sorko to do it.
Speaking of Sorkin, because it ties into an actor that we love dearly.
What is Richard Schiff doing right now?
I was going to say about John Goodman, actually, because I think John Goodman was in The West Wing.
Oh, I know what this is. Yeah.
So a John Goodman film is being remade, and I can't figure out why.
Flintstones. No, neither can I, because it's great.
Arachnophobia.
Yeah.
Why?
I love that film.
Why? It holds up.
That film is on Now TV. I might watch it.
I watch it every other day. It's on Now TV. Well, I work when I'm not like at screenings and things.
Yeah,
I work at home.
I'm looking at Jeff Daniels.
I work at home, so I have Now TV on in the background all day long. So I see a lot of the same movies. I'm working, obviously, but I just see a lot of movies in the background all the time. Arachnophobia, I see a lot of. And you do watch it.
It's a great film.
Yeah. And also, it reminds us of a time when Julian Sands was a plausible Hollywood star.
Yes.
Let's never, ever forget that happened.
Who is producing this, though?
It's funny you would ask that, almost specifically, like it had an impressive person producing it.
I wonder who it could be. Who is important in the world of horror films?
Could it be Conjuring producer James Wan?
Cool.
There we are. Okay, so James Wan's doing...
James Wan? James Wan?
James Wan? I always say James Wan.
Jimmy Wan?
I always say it like one.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
We're doing that scene from Sisters now, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
It's Hey Wan. Hey Wan. I love that.
How many times have you seen that film now?
Oh, good Lord. Yes, Now TV again. On all the time. I mean, I love it. And I'll never, ever stop.
We saw that together, didn't we?
We did, yeah. Time, yeah. I will never not enjoy watching Tina Fey and Amy Poehler do that dance.
Yes.
In the chunky, oversized sneakers.
And against John Cena.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cena is great in that.
I just want to cuddle everyone in that film. Yeah. And Bobby Moynihan.
Bobby Moynihan is
another friend.
One of my favourite Rick and Morty things is when there's like the knockoff of Saturday Night Live. Yeah. It's like all like the random people and then and finally Bobby Moynihan.
That piece of bread and Bobby Moynihan hate one another.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. What did I just think of? Oh, that was one. So yes, Arachnophobia is getting remade. I saw a great tweet about it, actually, which was, there's no director, cast, or writer attached to it yet. And someone tweeted out, what, so they just got like 20,000 spiders just sat there?
Let's go.
You just know there's some spider wrangler in Hollywood literally sat staring at his unringing phone right now.
Yeah.
Like, I am the largest collector of Venezuelan spiders in the United States.
If it's all live action ones as well, amazing.
I know. Yes. Well, that's the thing, because in the original, they were mostly live action, weren't they? They were just shot in a certain way that made them look bigger and more threatening.
Yes.
And then the main spider, the queen, was it? The mother? That was animatronic.
Yes.
And it was cutting edge at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like when you see like the alligator in Jumanji.
Oh, God.
It's got like some guy in it.
Dude, it's like when you see the alligator in, what's that one? Lake Placid. Oh, good God, Lake Placid. Oh, they made a franchise out of that.
Yeah, they did.
How? I mean, I'm not surprised it stars David Hasselhoff at a point, but, you know.
Going from Pullman to Hasselhoff. That's when you lost it.
But yeah, another news this week, Gal Gadot got cast as the female lead opposite Dwayne Johnson in Red Notice, his new action comedy from Rawson Marshall Thurber, who made Central Intelligence.
He did. He made Dodgeball. He did. We're the Millers, which I quite like, actually.
I like We're the Millers, yeah.
I'd like to watch that again sometime.
I too have no regrets. How often have you used that gif?
Quite a bit.
It's a good gif.
He's done Skyscraper, his new one.
Oh, he has, hasn't he? Yes.
Yeah. So I think they've got something of a partnership.
Which, interestingly, doesn't have a week of release pressure.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it.
No, I'm sure it'll be good.
I'm sure there's absolutely no reason that you wouldn't want critics to see a $200 million Dwayne Johnson Die Hard on Fire skyscraper movie.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the poster's got him leaping from a crane to a building with one leg. I'm in.
Yeah. You had me at that.
You sold me a film, sir.
Oh, that was it. Hang on, you're gonna love this. So they finalised casting this week on the grown-up kids from It.
Yeah, the losers.
And the guy they've got to play adult Mike is my favourite bit of casting ever, only because we get to say the following words. The face of Old Spice is going to play Mike in It Chapter 2. So is it him and Terry Crews, those adverts?
The two guys with the amazing voice.
Oh, God.
Hello, ladies. Voices.
And he's Mike. Actually, I don't know how you settled on that, but I'm in.
Great choice.
But apparently, James McAvoy,
he
Bill
does
Hader,
look a lot like him. And
this cast is shaping up great.
Well, that's it for the losers now. The losers, I think the only people they've got to get the bully kid whose name escapes me.
Is he alive though in this continuity though? Because
he is, isn't he?
At the end of It 1, he seems to die. Yet he falls down that hole. The hole when he's wrestling with him for the bolt gun, he's fighting with young Mike. He seems to go down the hole. And
I believe that he is alive in the book, so...
He is alive in the books and the 1990 miniseries. He is alive in the present day.
So maybe
because he's been in a mental hospital and Pennywise lets him out.
Yes.
But then again, there is a lot in the adult years of It that I don't think is somehow going to make it into a film.
No, man.
No. I mean, you've not got John Ritter for starters, so you're already starting at a disadvantage.
Somebody get me a giant turtle.
What else we got? James Marsden joined Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, because, everyone else was.
Well, yeah, everyone else is in it.
Why not? Did you see the thing that Jamila Jamil put on Instagram?
Oh, God, is this the thing... Basically, she made an accusation, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yes.
About Emile Hirsch, who's joined this film.
That was it, who joined this film, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was similar to the effect of Emile Hirsch strangled one of my best friends in the middle of...
was it Sundance?
It was Sundance. Or
in front of many witnesses.
Many witnesses, something like that. And yet he's still getting cast in big high-profile films, Tarantino films. Well done, white male privilege or something like that.
I mean, to be fair,
Crazy.
Emile Hirsch, more often than not, is an absolutely terrible actor.
It's an interesting choice for this film.
Yeah, I mean, I do genuinely think he is the closest real-world parable to Vincent Chase from Entourage.
Really?
I genuinely think, because that series was modelled on Mark Wahlberg, but obviously diverges at a certain point. There's parallels, so the whole Aquaman storyline is meant to be a rewrite of...
I think there's certain exceptions.
But I think it's Emile Hirsch.
Yeah, quite possibly. Yeah, I think there's certain exceptions, like Into the Wild, obviously. And...
Yeah, he has one or two, doesn't he? Where he actually does work really well.
Yeah.
But then the rest of the time, he's like the definition of slumming it. Like, he just does not seem arsed to be there half the time.
He's Speed Racer. Leave him alone.
Tika Sumpter. Remember her? She played Michelle Obama in South Side with You.
You hated that. You hated that.
I hated it with a passion. I hated it. I really hated it.
Didn't we call it, like, Before White House or something? Or
something like that, before inauguration.
Yeah.
She's going to join the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, apparently.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And I think, did James Marsden get cast in that and then someone else took it at the last minute or something?
No, it was the other way around. Paul Rudd was going to have it and then James Marsden.
Then James Marsden got, okay, fair enough. I tell you. I can keep up with these things. That guy from Overboard, the Overboard remake.
Eugenio
Derbez?
Yeah.
Has apparently been cast as the villain in the Dora the Explorer movie.
Yeah.
You know the one in which they've cast her to be like 19 years old and you start thinking this is in no way going to end badly on the internet. Yeah. So...
Is he playing Swiper?
The thing is, he physically looks like Swiper.
Yeah.
but it's not been said that he is Swiper. Let's just see. A couple other things to get through really quickly. Lee Daniels is going to direct a biopic for Billie Holiday.
Cool.
I mean, like, totally, and that's amazing. Isn't it? Yeah. Let's see what else. Michelle Pfeiffer's poster for Ant-Man came out. She is in it. We can get that. Did we talk about the Joker getting a standalone movie last time we did a show?
Yes, but apparently it's got a date and budget and all sorts of gubbins now. Let's have a look.
Oh, God. Does anyone want to see a Joker movie?
Jared Leto.
I mean, I want to see a Heath Ledger Joker movie or a, Jack Nicholson Joker movie. I'll even take a Let's Dig Cesar Romero up Joker movie. But there is no one on earth who wants to see a Jared Leto Joker movie, save possibly for Jared Leto's agent and the head of Warner Brothers.
Well, is this the one? It's not the Joaquin Phoenix one.
No, that's the other one. That's the one that Scorsese's producing.
Right, let's see if we can find this thing.
I'm trying to see what else we got here. Let's see. Justin Bieber's going to voice Cupid in an animated film. Good luck to him. I have no idea what to say to that one. But hang on, what you got for me?
I'm trying to find the date. I'm sure I just saw it.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know there was a day.
He says the Todd Phillips one, which is a Joaquin Phoenix one, the budget will be in the range of $55 million, which is not a lot.
Not a lot at all, is it? No. So, okay, well, let's go with this final bombshell to go out on this week then. So we know we've got that Willy Wonka movie coming.
Oh yeah, we're looking at
you know the news as well. So there's a casting shortlist, isn't there? There's people they would like.
Yes,
and they include Ryan Gosling, who I do think probably will get it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think of everyone named. There was Ryan Gosling, there was Donald Glover, and there was someone else.
Ezra Miller.
Is it Ezra Miller? It is. Yes, it is.
If it's Ezra Miller, Warner Brothers are basically giving him all the franchises.
Effectively, yes. He's in them all, isn't he, then? I don't want it to be Ezra Miller because I don't think he's good enough for...
I think he's a great actor. Just on seeing we need to talk about Kevin, but I don't want to see him as Willy Wonka.
Different things, don't they? Like, Johnny Depp was better at other things. He wasn't a very good Willy Wonka.
Like Michelle Rodriguez, she's great at being like a spunky, like hard edge, rough and tumble Latina lady.
Cannot play a member of the United States Supreme Court.
No, I mean, actually, she is really good at being like a hard edge, rough and tumble LA Latina lady. Like she does one thing. She does one thing.
I know. You wouldn't buy her playing like a Norwegian plumber.
I would love to see that.
I mean, I would. I would love to see it, but
there's not enough tentpole films about Norwegian plumbers.
So here's my issue with this news. Right. So it's going to be Gosling. Clearly, it's going to be Gosling because also Ryan Gosling has never really had a franchise.
He doesn't do these kind of films.
He doesn't do these kind of films, and something like Willy Wonka, which isn't really an existing franchise.
He was looked at to be Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were looked at and then signed up and then quit.
Yeah, and then that role was reduced.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at that role in that movie that Scott Eastwood has, which I went and counted, has 4 lines of dialogue.
Yes.
I counted. That's terrible. That's the son of Eastwood, man. Anyway, sorry, that's off topic. That's my Scott Eastwood complex. But here's my thing. If you give it to Ryan Gosling, you're getting same old thing, right? At best, you get a Gene Wilder impersonation, right?
Really? I don't know. I think he'll bring someone else to it.
Maybe, or he'll use his internet mystique that he's cultivated over the last few years, his hangdog expression.
What you're trying to say is he'll be white.
No. I'm just trying to say you kind of know what you're going to get if it's Ryan Gosling. My thing is, give it to Donald Glover. Let's go nuts.
You might as well.
Yeah. It's not an existing franchise. It's a new thing. You're going to piss off the people who are fans of Gene Wilder and Johnny Depp anyway.
Yeah, so completely...
Go the other way, Go the other way.
Give it to someone that is having, like, a giant moment.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
might as well.
How imaginative is it to say... Hey, you, who, you're really good with your inventiveness and imagination and making people love you. Why don't you bring that to our new franchise?
Yeah.
That.
You want someone that is absolute Charm City.
Oh, God, yeah. And he is.
Yeah.
But, look at Solo.
Yeah, and we're back to it, but that's why I wanted it to just be the Castle Run. That's what I wanted it to just be about Falcon. And you could have had a film about equally Lando, equally Han.
Oh, yeah, I would have liked that.
Would have been way better.
I like the Chewie-Han relationship, but I would have liked to see more.
You still could have had that.
You kind of could have had that. He was the good friend. Lando was the spiky friend. That worked out. But anyway, apparently Donald Glover is actively pursuing it. Like, he wants it.
That's cool.
He wants it.
Yeah.
So now it becomes a question. Does Warner Brothers, take the obvious gamble and give this new franchise over to, that man who currently has the very popular music video out and is in that semi-popular Star Wars movie at the moment.
And he's in that incredibly popular TV
series, yeah. Or do they remember that they are the people who created the DCEU and simply give it to Ryan Gosling? So, yeah, there's that.
It could be worse.
They could give it to Joss Whedon.
What, to be Willy Wonka?
That would be terrible.
Needs more hair.
Also, I don't think Willy Wonka really takes advantage of that many women. But anyway.
Oompa Loompas, yes.
Oompa Loompas, yes. Were there female Oompa Loompas? There didn't seem to be.
And that is what this franchise will answer.
That's our takeaway for this week, is Donald Glover should be Willy Wonka.
This is my chocolate factory. That's what we call it.
Donny Wonka.
Donny Wonka.
Oh, Donny Wonka.
Donny Wonka.
Donny Wonka. I'm in for Donny Wonka.
Donny Wonka sounds like some really rubbishy, lock stock knockoff.
Yeah,
Donny Wonka.
When he's clipped a bloke, right? Puts a chocolate bar on him.
It feels like the sequel to the Danny Dyer film, The Business. That's what it feels like.
Oh, good God. There was a sequel to The Business.
What was it called?
No, there was a direct-to-DVD sequel. I can't remember the title.
I don't doubt it.
Oh, don't even. I just remember, wasn't that during that phase when Tamer Hassan briefly was a movie star?
Yeah.
Good Lord. Do you know the early noughties
Crazy
were
times.
dark times?
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen his Wrong Turn movie. Not good.
No.
Not good at all.
No good things.
There are so many crap British actors who were so much better off forgotten. Who's the one who always turns... Craig Fairbrass, who always turns up in action movies.
Yep.
Yeah, Rise of the Foot Soldier 3. Cheers, Craig.
You've got to be an action star with a name like Fairbrass.
You've got to, don't you?
You've got to be. What else are you going to do?
You could be a postman.
Do you know who's directing the Willy Wonka film?
No, it's written on here, but... is it?
Yes.
Yes. Go on.
Yes.
It's Paul King, isn't it?
Yes. Who did The Paddingtons.
Yes, he did.
He did The Paddingtons. Who is the brother of Superhands.
I was going to say that about it, because I always see his name written down, and I was going to say, I always think he's Matt King.
Matt King. No,
But he's his brother, isn't he?
Yeah. And obviously... Superhands, Matt King, is in Paddington.
He cameos, doesn't he, in both of them, I think, doesn't he?
I don't know if he's in the second one. He's definitely in the first one, because it's one of my favourite bits.
Oh, no, I don't remember him in the first one, but I remember him in the second. So I think he is in both.
The bit in the first one, he's like a thief, like a burglar, and he steals something from a shop, and he gets pursued by Paddington by mistake. And it's absolutely genius. He's in a car, and there's a sat-nav, and the sat-nav tells him to bear right. And he looks up, and Paddington's to the right of him.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. I love those Paddington movies so much. We need to talk about a trailer before we go this week.
Go on.
So, this is the trailer, of course, for Halloween.
Oh, all right,
which came out at the end of last week, and I could not be more excited.
Yeah, I am in.
I'm absolutely in. First of all, it looks like it's a proper horror film. It's surprisingly meta. They almost immediately shoot down the Mike Myers being Laurie Strode's brother thing from the other
sequels. I love how it opens.
I thought it looked... Because it opens with a prolonged sequence, doesn't it, of a prison yard.
Yeah.
And I was intrigued enough by that. At that point, I'm this guy holding the mask, and I'm
Do you know what it is? It's the floor of the prison yard.
Because he's got a whole section that he can't leave or something. Yeah. But I saw that sequence and just thought, I'm in. Then the music started, and I'm like... Just take the money, just take the money, just take the money, just take the money. I'm in. You play the music, I'm in.
Yeah. And Drug Out is doing the...
Music, yeah. And how cool, Laurie Strode still got it.
Yeah. She's got the hair as well.
She has as well. I know. Jamie Lee grew that hair back.
Oh, looks awesome.
Seriously, when you look back on the first Halloween now, do you think Jamie Lee Curtis is hot in the original Halloween?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. Just checking. I just wanted to check it wasn't.
I think she's hot now.
But then, because she looks totally different then. It's that 70s Americana thing. That
I need to go to Trading Places.
Yes,
and be alone with myself.
I'm going to go and find some Hollyoaks posters. So in the meanwhile, if you've ever wondered what you do with an Oscar, here it is, your moment of Cage.
Where is your Oscar? I think it's I've had to move a couple of times. I believe it's where did Danielle put it? She's my personal man. I think she put it. It was in my bar. I think it's now in my office somewhere.